Okay, so dear Dharma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body. Keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring your attention to this bell sound. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind and relax your breathing with your thoughts. Do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, in these ongoing meditation sessions, we mainly try to share some basic information for yourself to develop your practice and develop a very good, very clear foundation for your meditation practice. So then it is always not just only by hearing this going to work for you. So you have to apply it to your day-to-day life. So when it comes to our life, the one of the important thing we have to understand, according to the Buddha's teaching, this everything based with the mind. Mind is the forerunner. When it comes to your life, not about outside things. There are many properties, many elements when it comes to outside world, even sometimes we don't know what it is. And we will never find it. And we will never see it in this human eye. Because there are some things in the universe, it's move away from the earth faster than the light. So even that the humans are capable to travel faster than the light. Sometimes we can't catch that things. So in the physical eye, we're not going to reach to certain level. But when it comes to yourself, within your own inner experience, within your body and mind, you are capable to understand the very nature and the behavior of this, all the four elements: heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness. So that is everything. So when it comes to this entire universe, finally, it belongs to the heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness. So that's why understanding yourself will bring the ability to understand the nature about other things. So one of the important thing with the Buddha's teaching, Buddha always talk about this power of the human mind and not beyond you. When it comes to other religions, we can see it always go beyond the human life. It doesn't give that much value or the strength or the power or the weight to the human life. It always go beyond that human life. But here in this practice, you have to remember, that's why we need some effort ourselves to practice and understand this. Because beyond you, there is no any higher power behind you going to select your life or your future. How we know that? So if you look very carefully yourself, look back within that your own experience. And other thing is, when it comes to this human world, this human existence, the history of the human world, many thousand years backward, if we look very carefully, everything done by human. We never got anything out of this human world. So then you have to look into you and see and understand this mechanism. So when it comes to you, there are major two parts, body and mind. And that also has, when it comes to the history of this discussion, people used to come with many ideas, dividing the body separate from the mind. And the mind is separate from the body, and the mind is different, independent entity. But in Buddhism, it is not kind of like a mind and the body separate. This both interconnected. The body and mind exist with the help of each other. Because it is not a kind of anything independently exist itself separately. So that is where the causation comes, cause and effect, or the causality, dependent origination. That each and everything help each other to exist. So then how you can separate it? Because one thing become a very root for the other thing. So that's why when it comes to you, the practice means it is just not only one thing. It is you practice your body and mind. So that's from your sitting, in your day-to-day life, with the take caring the body and the take caring the mind, it's both. It's very necessary. You can't drop one thing. So when it comes to the human life, you are the ultimate and highest, the power. And then when it comes to that, your body and mind both together work. And then when it comes to this body and mind, just having a very safe existence is not the very purpose of these all teachings. Because whatever we keep doing, it's not going to be permanent. So when it comes to body and mind, and the people always look for happiness and satisfaction. So when it comes to that happiness and satisfaction, there is something that in this very conventional level of happiness and satisfaction, it's based with the feelings. So whatever things that you achieve, whatever the feelings that you have, whatever the joy that you gain out of these material things, it's not going to be permanent. But that doesn't mean it no need. No, it is need for you, but at the same time you have to understand it's not going to be permanent. So then from there, even though you achieved it, you experience it, you be with it, you have to remember to drop it. So another way that letting go, releasing, rather than grasping and holding. For that, you have to have the understanding. That understanding we call the awareness. Because if you become aware, if you have the mindfulness, you are capable to see this nature. Whatever in this conventional life where we experience as happiness and satisfaction, not going to be permanent, it's going to go away. So then you experience it, and before it go away, you're not going to hold it and you release it. And once you're capable to do that, you're gaining some kind of freedom with your conscious decision. In that way, you create a path yourself. Rather than grasping and holding, you empower inside you to release the experience. Because most of time, what happens, eating, sleeping, dancing, drinking, whatever you mean, these sensual pleasures or the satisfaction or the joy, rather than releasing, we always empower to grasping, holding, clinging to that. Again and again, there is an unstoppable continuation. And yourself, that you have kind of like, you have plans for the future. You have dreams for the future. And you have the dreams to tomorrow, to the next year, the next life even. And then as existence, sometimes you grasping that joy, the satisfaction. But if you look very carefully, you can see that whatever that happiness and the satisfaction we achieve, it's not going to be there. So once you see that, once you understand that, you are capable to go through it. That clarity, how you go through something, how you release, how you move away from something. That conscious decision, why you take it? Because most of the time people take that kind of decisions when they have fear, when they can't achieve it, when they can't make anything happen the way they want, and they give up things. But here, not about giving up. It's releasing. And that you're releasing regarding that whatever related to the body and mind both. And then there's come a question, like this New Year days, everybody try to make goals, and everybody have kind of like desires to become better and to do something more better. There's nothing wrong with that. Because as you know, this everything what we experience, everything came out of the human hands. And the people in the beginning, they had the desire, and they had the desire to do something good. And maybe they're thinking about to developing a business. So that's why we experience this all. So nothing wrong with that. Maybe you're doing a business, you're doing something good, and you want to sell something, and you want to share something. And if it is help for the humanity to empower themselves or the uplift themselves, so whatever then that your goal or the intention is very necessary for that. 10 years back, 20 years back, we didn't experience this kind of product around us. So if the people didn't have the intention or the desire or the will or the goal to do something, anything not going to experience. So then as a result of that, we have it. And then in the future also it's going to happen. So when it comes to that, the moment of desire, when you have moment of desire, is it clinging? No, because the thing is this, it is not clinging, because when you have the the intention about the creativity, with clinging, you can't develop the creativity. You can't grow with the clinging. You're going to be in the same place. So the creativity is very necessary for the development of the world, the development of the humanity. So that is the very nature of the mind. So when it comes to that creativity, when it comes to that growth, development, the one of the major important thing that you have to keep awareness. Because as you know, the people can do many other things to bring the harm to the world. So then it's not going to become profitable for anyone. But here, if you have a kind of like an intention to do something good, if you have a goal to do a service to other people and share your wisdom or bring a product to help other people, and that is very necessary. So the practicing meditation doesn't mean you give up that kind of lifestyle and you kind of like you give up, like, you know, you give up everything and you become like a nothing. No. Or maybe, you know, in your head you hold into some kind of, you know, ideas and you just live with that. No, then you become like a zombie. No, because when you become mindful, that is where you are capable to share your life with others more productive way. So path of the enlightenment, that is what is necessary for you. So that is where you become more active, you become more creative. And when it comes to that creativity, when it comes to that, the goal or the intention or the desire, you can't be self-centered. Because with the more compassion, with the more wider, with the idea of generosity, there are a lot of people contribute to this humanity. And as a result of that, there are a lot of people get the benefit out of it. So, and even ourselves, what we experience this all because of other people. And then you can't be self-centered. Oh, this is me. How you can be yourself like, because this everything done by other people. So then how you think this is me? And you have to appreciate that. This everything today shaping and sharpening and define your life. If you don't have this anything, maybe you have no idea. Even sometimes our major idea about life, we got it from someone else. The vision about the life, goal about the life, we got from somebody else. It's not came from our own understanding. So nothing wrong. If it is good, nothing wrong, you take it. But we have to understand, rather than personalizing that idea, you have to understand that came from outside. And then you have to be more humble, rather than becoming egocentric, self-centered person. And that will be kind of like open you to see more independently, see more freely. That is very necessary. Because when you're clinging to things, grasping, holding, it closes down. It closes down deeper your heart. And it disconnects your brain and the heart. And then it is very difficult for you to develop this analytical understanding, critical understanding. And sometimes we think, oh, I can do that. No, it is you bound to some certain ideas yourself. It is not really a critical or analytical mind that you develop. It's you bound to your own vision or the thoughts or the patterns. And sometimes that pattern yourself, you think it is the critical analytical recognition. No. So that's why cleaning yourself is not easy. And brush up yourself, it needs a lot of effort, and effort, not only effort. You have to have some kind of wisdom for that, to recognize and sharp your own mind. Because otherwise, just imagine, if you become comfortable with the ignorance, thinking it is the wisdom, what will happen? You are in big trouble. So that happens to most of us. And it's not even visible. So then it happened in our subconscious mind. So if you don't have power to observe yourself and recognize and analyze without becoming biased to your own emotions, and we're not going to see. That's why most of time, even though people develop this spiritual practice, and even though that the technology and the science and the education become more higher, develop, still most of humans go through emotional crisis, emotional disaster, emotional breakdown. Why? Because that emotions they hold as their wisdom. Then they can't go beyond that. It happened to, ancient time, it happened to many rishis, the gurus, like high mental power gurus, because they thought when it come to tranquility state, they believed that is as a nibbana, and they settled down. No. And there are some divine beings, and they can't see the change. They can't see the death. They can't see this disappearance. They see every day the same. Then they thought, oh, this is immortal. Oh, I reached to the immortal. This is done. Because they can't see the end. So like that, it happened to us also. And sometimes the pain, the fear, unsatisfaction, disappointment, sadness, worry, when it becomes so comfortable, and when we repeat it again and again and again, we become so familiar with it. And then by the time, we think that is as the life. And sometimes we think it as the wisdom. Then anymore, we can't go beyond that. So then, having mindfulness, practicing it, sharpening it little by little, will take you to a place to recognize this. So that not going to become another thinking and understanding like other things. Because now you are capable to develop the awareness or the sati or the mindfulness. And now you are capable to see how things come to be as they are. And now you know what it is. And no one need to tell you. And you are capable to see deeply from the bottom of your experience. You see what is happening there. And that recognition itself is the solution. And that recognition itself is the beginning of the wisdom. Seeing yourself, understanding what is happening in you, from where it comes. And that's how you recognize the power of the mind. Because if you don't see that, you believe maybe something else govern our life. But now you see from the depth of your own mental formations, how this come. And that is where you recognize, oh, this is not something from outside. This is our own misunderstanding. This is our own conditions inside us. This is our own idea. Repeat. That repetition now became kind of like our wisdom. So once you see it, you know how to untangle it. But without seeing it, how are you going to untangle it? Because you can't do this just by thinking. That's the important thing that you have to understand. Even think about the life. You know, you can't come to a freedom or the success just by thinking about life. And now you know, you all are enough matured people to understand. You know now that what we think sometimes end of the day doesn't work. So life has a different mechanism. To go into that, you have to have a tool. That tool is awareness. So if you have it, no need practice. Go with it. Keep your awareness. Not about other things, about your body, feelings, mind, very phenomena, the very natural behavior. All the reactions and the happening in you, and just keep it. But if you don't have it, remember, without that, there is no freedom or there is no satisfaction going to happen. So then, have some practice. Because in the ancient time, why we have to practice? Another thing, to gain this freedom and satisfaction. There were times, half of the world, not the East, West, the most of people didn't know about the real freedom. Because as you know, when we go back to the humanity, you know, few 100 years back, it's very ugly. Slavery was the major thing in the world. And the people, you know, kind of like just having a meal, just having a shelter for themselves, just having a kind of like a freedom to little bit go here and there. They used to think that is the highest. Why? Because, you know, when someone in the prison forget about enlightenment, they always look for freedom, and even, you know, their security, their safety, it is more important for them. So most of, like, when it comes to the human history, people had the struggle, and they thought the freedom means this material freedom. Wherever you can go and you are not anymore slavery, you don't need to work for anybody else anymore. And they thought that is the highest. And they didn't know beyond that, this in our mind, that how we can find this freedom. And that's why sometimes that freedom, the materialized, nothing wrong with it because it has a history. You know, people kind of like, you know, they think the highest of having party, enjoying, you know, or eating food, you know, having all the sensual pleasures. Oh, that is the And it's kind of like they brought the word is kind of like it looked like heaven. So that means what? To have the freedom. So, but in the East, what happened? They didn't have like that slavery. And they had the freedom, the community. People used to share each other things. And because of that, they start to look how this life happened like that. Then this life happened that because of other people. And then they became more vulnerable. They became more humble. And they start to think beyond that. They had the opportunity to look into the nature, look into the trees, the stars, the moon, the sun. They had the freedom to think about. Just imagine if you are hungry, if you have to work under someone else, do you think just is there any kind of like a comfortable mind for you to observe, and look around, see the moon, the stars, just to see what it is even? No, because you struggle to to protect your life. So then what happened? Why now we have to practice like this? In the ancient time, we had the slavery, and the people thought the freedom means get out of it. But now what happened? And we don't have that slavery, but now we all became a slave to the machines, technology, and money. So because we always, everybody go behind it, and without that we can't do anything. Now little by little people forgetting they can walk. So by the time what will happen? This artificial intelligence, and start to develop a kind of like take decisions independently. And that is something, the defense system, the only US, disagree for that. But there are like China, like some other countries, they're developing this autonomic defense system, because the system itself take decisions to defend. It's very dangerous. And then by the time, what happened? Just imagine that sometimes, when I drive this long way, then suddenly, from the car, it pop up, oh, time to drink a tea. Yeah, I was looking from where it comes, So how this algorithm, or the car, according to the distance I drive, how the car can decide, I have to drink tea or take a break. For some people it works. But remember, it's deeply, little by little, what happens? So we become slave. So then what will happen when this artificial intelligence, when the machines and the technology, this everything, if we become slave to that, then, we lose again that the idea of freedom. Then we always have to, struggle to maintain these things, and then we spend the time and we finish the time. And we have no opportunity to look into inside us. So it is your personal responsibility. Even though you maintain your life, your social life, your personal life, even though you work, you have to remember That is not the real purpose of this, that all are part of life. So the real purpose your life should be understanding and tuning and developing, uplifting that, the inner freedom. That inner freedom means developing the understanding and the wisdom. So for that, you need the awareness. Without that, you can't do anything else. So then, if you have the awareness, there's no way any machines or the technology or any science can overtake you. But if you lose the awareness, and that the losing awareness, that unaware, once you take this unawareness as wisdom, that is the day you create a disaster to entire humanity. So never take that path. Don't take this unawareness, uncomfort as the path of the wisdom. Unawareness is the method of the wisdom. Now, always remember yourself. So without practicing, you can't understand it. So that's why this practicing itself is a kind of like you are contributing to humanity. And you are contributing the greatest thing to protect yourself. Because if you don't practice like this way, you're going to go to the group. And then by the time you become a slave. And once you become a slave to something, you're always grasping, holding it. You're depending from that. So don't blame to anybody. Don't fight with anything. Don't resist anything. Just understand what is happening. And at the same time, it is your own responsibility to find the freedom, keep the wisdom, and develop your practice. So with that, let's get into practice a little bit now. So your right palm on your left hand, neck head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. So bring your attention to your body and scan head to toes yourself and say Swapatveva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this science and meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge in this moment with this sitting. May my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime. And detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalations and exhalations. So in the beginning, deeply and gently, breathe in, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation, please. And allow your inhalations, exhalations happen itself. And when it happens through the sensation, recognize it, do nothing extra. So if your mind go here and there, bring it back again and again. Don't disturb to it, the natural process of inhalation, exhalation. Bring your attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also as far as you can through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe. And may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light to your backside, to your left side, and to your right side. Downward and upward. To all 6 directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest, wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. And also by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ittavata chami sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Imaya dhammanu dhamma patipattiya buddham pujemi dhammam pujemi sangham pujemi Addaya imaya patipattiya jati jara vyadi maranam ha paribunjissami Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamunchatu. Bless.